Hello, good afternoon. Be still and know that I am God. It's in stillness, not your business, not when you're running all over the place, not when you're going out with your girlfriends, not when you're hanging out with your boys, not when you're running all over the place, you're at work, you're doing this. It's in your stillness, not your business, that we tune our spiritual ear to hear the voice of God. The Lord always speaks to us in that still, small voice. The Lord speaks to us in that still, small voice. Are you taking time to quiet yourself at any given point of the day so you can hear the voice of God? Marietta here. For all y'all that know, you know your girl loves the Lord. You know she's going to speak about the word of the Lord. She is just going to inspire, uplift, and motivate. For all of y'all new ones that are here tonight, welcome aboard. Good to see you. Great. Glad to have you. Subscribe. Turn your notification bell on so you can join the family. We would love to have you over here. We're just a bowl of energy over here. And when we be still so we can hear the voice of God, that's when we begin to hear him in this very still voice. The Lord always speaks to us in that very still voice. And, it's very important because so oftentimes, we make the mistake of thinking that we heard the voice of God, but it was our own thoughts. It was our own thoughts. It wasn't what God thought. It was our own thoughts that we heard. Because God speaks to us in that very small voice. That's right. I said we heard our own voice. The voice of the Lord speaks to us in that very small voice. And the Lord's thoughts to us is not our thoughts. It's his thoughts. Think about that. I remember reading over there in John 4:24, and it says, God is a spirit. And they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. That is why I know that God does not communicate with us, not brain to brain, not mouth to mouth, not ear to ear. The way we communicate in the physical realm, the Lord speaks to our spirit, not the words, not in words, but in thoughts and impressions. Let me tell you what I'm thinking and how this came about for me. On Wednesday night, I was sitting in my kitchen. And as I was sitting in my kitchen, the Spirit of the Lord spoke to my spirit, saying, check your security lights outside. Now, I've never had to worry about that before because I never thought about that because I know the security lights are on the pole. I pay my electric bill. The electric comes on and they just work all by themselves. But Wednesday night this week, the Lord spoke to me and said, check your security lights. So I went outside and I looked up and I checked the security light. I waited for a minute for it to come on. Usually it comes right on and brightens up the whole yard or whatever. So I waited for about 10, 15 minutes, no light. So, okay, I didn't think nothing about it. I said, okay, thank you, Lord. Thank you for quickening me in that area. So last night, which was Thursday night, again, I come out and look. I had no light in the yard. So now it becomes a real security concern because God already let me know to watch my lights. Be careful about these lights because you need to make sure that you're safe at all times. So I come out and I check the light again. The light wasn't on. So I waited another 15 minutes. This is a whole nother 24 hours later. Still no light. So I picked up the phone last night and I called the electric company. And I told them, now they charging us all this money, giving us all these itemized bills. On my electric bill, it says that I have 2 security lights also working in the yard, front and back. Neither one of my lights have been working. And God let me see this on Wednesday night. And here it is Thursday night. They're still not on. So now I reported, not calling in. But they're going to ask me, well, how long have your lights been out? I don't know. I'm sure they know exactly how long they've been out because they operate them buttons from the office. So as I began to communicate with them, they told me that somebody would be out Friday morning, today, early this morning, to make sure that the lights are okay. Now, I haven't seen anybody since I got up, but I left the house and I went on about my business, took care of my business. And now I'm back in the house. Now I'm home. But when it gets dark, I would definitely check those lights to make sure that those lights are up and running because the Spirit of the Lord spoke to me and let me know that those lights was out. This is exactly what I mean when you know that you got angels with you, you know you're being guarded, you know you're being protected. The Spirit of the Lord will not leave you out here ignorant to Satan's devices. If God gives you a job and God sends you somewhere, he will give you what you need and he will equip you with what you need to take care of what it is he sent you out to do. You just got to be in a place where you're quiet, where you can hear the voice of the Lord and continue to stay prayed up and stay connected to him so that you can hear when he's speaking to you. Things that go on around you, anything that's going to threaten your well-being, you will get a feeling, as they say, that discernment will kick in. And as he spoke to me, spoke to my spirit about checking with them lights, all I could say was, Lord, I thank you. Thank you. And I never once do I ever, since I've been on my own with just me and God, I don't override the spirit. When God lets me know something is wrong, I automatically just get right up and start paying attention to it. I kick right into it. And then this is why I tell y'all there's some things you have to do down here in order for you to have that right relationship and be in right standards with God so that you'll be able to hear the things that he's trying to tell you and the protection that he has around you. Because see, after the Lord speaks to you spirit to spirit, then your spirit speaks back to you and say, there's something the Lord is trying to show me. There's something God wants me to do. There's something that God is trying to tell me. And then you begin to start to figure out what it is God is trying to show you, what he's trying to tell you. He's able to speak to you and tell you. Now, he told me that to check the lights, check the security lights, what I heard. And as I began to check the security light, I realized the light was not on. As I continued to check the security light, I realized it didn't come on the next night. And that next night, the second time, that's when I knew it's time to make a phone call. It's time to get somebody on board. It's time to get somebody to check it. Because let me tell you something. They're not being lenient on these electric bills. Not in this season. They're charging you top dollar for this electric. Now, the Lord don't say, go do this or that, but it would definitely let your spirit know that you got to do something. There is something that you need to do, and then you begin to figure out what it is you need to do. So then you begin to move with what your spirit is telling you to do something. And then your spirit says, I think I should do something. I think I need to move. You know, you cannot be misled by what God is trying to tell you when you're yielding your spirit to him. And you're connected to him, you have a relationship with him, and you trust him. That's the thing. You have to trust God in the midst. You have to trust his leadership. You have to trust his leadership. You cannot lean to your own understanding. And this is not the season for you to start leaning on your own understanding. You really need to know that you're hearing the voice of God for your very life, for you to be able to move in a way that is going to be beneficial for you and your family. Or if you're just by yourself, you just need to be able to hear the voice of God so that you will be protected and you will be surrounded by the protection that God has for you in this time. Because, you know, a lot of times when we don't allow God to lead us and we'll do something stupid. We all done did it. I've done it. And I know you done done it too. And we'll all do something stupid and say, God, I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I hadn't done that. Or I knew God told me to do this and I just didn't do it. I know I heard the voice of the Lord and either I was too lazy to get up and do it or I just refused to do it. I just didn't want to do it. You know, sometimes we do this and this is why we end up in certain situations we do, because we do not allow the God that we serve, the one that we say we love, the one that we say we trust, the one that we cry out to when we're in the midst of our problems. We don't trust him enough to do what he tells us to do when he tells us to do it. So we get ourselves caught up in situations that we could have saved ourselves a lot of useless tears had we just listened to the voice of God and followed what he gave us to do for instruction instead of trying to lean and do things in our own way. So that's why I love that message Bible verse. It says, when I told y'all over there in John 4:24, it says, God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. You must first believe that he is, first and foremost. But when God spoke to me and told me to check my security lights front and backyard, he spoke to me in my spirit. He spoke to me in my spirit. And that quickened me. And my spirit said, get up and check them. Go see what's going on. Pay attention to your surroundings. Go see what's going on out there in the yard. And I began to do just that. And then after I seen for the second night that they were still not on, I began to make a phone call. Now, like I said, here it is, getting ready to be Friday night. Soon as it gets dark tonight, I will be out here checking these security lights to make sure these lights are on, make sure they're up and running. Why? Because the electric company is charging us good money for electric right now. They already know that they're giving us a lot of these estimated bills. I ain't seen nobody come to my yard to read no meter, but yet they give you bills that's outrageous, and all you can do is pay them so that they won't disconnect you. So in that case, if I'm paying for 2 security lights, I expect to see 2 security lights on. I want to get what I paid for, and you need to get what you paid for. Pay attention to the things that are going around you and pay attention to that small, still voice. That small, still voice. When it begins to speak to you, pay attention to what that small, still voice is telling you. It will not lead you wrong. It is like your onboard GPS. Come on, somebody. That is your onboard GPS that is guiding you and leading you into a path of righteousness. It's going to keep you safe. It's going to give you knowledge and understanding. It's going to tell you exactly what it is to do, how to do it. And a lot of times when you don't listen to that small voice, this is when we make a mess. This is when things don't line up the way it should. This is when we find ourselves in situations and we don't think about it till later and say, I know I should have did this way, or I heard the voice of God. Something told me that something is your spiritual GPS, which is the Spirit speaking to you, spirit to spirit. But because of the fact that you're too busy and you're on the phone trying to gossip, you're on the phone trying to see who did this, you're on the phone trying to see who went through this, and you're missing the voice of God in your own life. You're missing that small, still voice that's trying to lead you and guide you and trying to keep you in right standards and keep you on the path of righteousness so that you will be protected. Because right now we can't do things in our own might, and we never could. If you try to do it in you, you're going to make a mess. Because in Marietta dwelleth no good thing, in you dwelleth no good thing. So we got to allow God to be able to work through us, because he's the only perfect person. He already knows your tomorrow. He's already been in it. He already knows what's going to happen before it happens. He's been protecting you. You don't know the almost things that almost had taken you out of here already that he protected you from. How many times he done told death to behave on your situation, on your behalf. How he done moved people out of your life that came to devour you. You don't understand when that small, still voice begins to speak to you. And again, this is in Psalms 46:10 says, be still and know that I am God. It is in your stillness, not your busyness, that we tune our spiritual ear to hear the voice of God. You will tune your spiritual ear to hear the voice of God. The Lord always speaks in that still, small voice. But so many times you drown it out with the noise that's around you. You drown it out with the noise within your head. You drown it out when somebody thinks that you can just give you some money for a quick fix. Or you drown it out when you want to use your body to be able to do what you want to do and make things happen quicker instead of waiting on God. So you begin to drown out that small voice that's trying to lead and guide you, that's going to take you to a place where you will get what you need done and you will be protected in the midst. And you don't have to do a whole bunch of extra stuff, a bunch of worldly stuff, a bunch of stuff that people want you to do in order for you to get where you need to be. This is another thing. When I was, and that still voice would talk to you, and it would talk to you late in the midnight hour, talk to you all in the daytime. It would talk to you in the midst of you getting ready to do something that's wrong, and you know it's wrong, but you're going to do it anyway because there's something that you need, or there's some sick gratification you might get out of doing what it is that you want to do. And then sometimes doing what you want to do can land you in places that you wish you never end up, and you don't hear this small, still voice until you get in your quiet place. That's why I tell people, sometimes when people go to jail, it's not a bad thing. They may have did a bad thing to get there, but it might be a good thing that they're there so that they can hear the small, still voice that they should have listened to when they were out in these streets. Some people are laid up in the hospital right now because they ignored that small, still voice. God is telling you not to eat all that sugar. God is telling you not to go hang out all hours of the night. Things happen when we get out of the will of God. Things happen when we not listen to that small, still voice. That small, still voice is your GPS speaking to you spirit to spirit, and then you feel something that's telling that's your spirit telling you to react. That's your spirit telling you to be careful. Your spirit telling you to be safe. Your spirit telling you to listen. A lot of times we don't want to listen to our own. We don't want to listen to God speaking to our own self. We want to hear what God has for somebody else, but you don't know God is here to protect you as well. And a lot of things that you may want to do, you might feel like you're not having no fun, or seem like other people are having fun, and God won't let you do it because of the fact that it could cause you to have to leave this planet. It may cause you your life. It may cause you to get into trouble. So that small, still voice, that's how God speaks to us, through that small, still voice. And we need to be in a place to listen. So sometimes it's better that you just move by yourself, let God isolate you and put you in solitude so you will be able to hear that small, still voice. Get all these other voices out of your ear. Seek God for your guidance. Seek the Lord for your guidance. Talk to Jesus. Ask Jesus, what is it he have for you to do? Where do you want me to go? Talk to God about the thing that you want to get ready to do, and then wait on him to answer you. Wait on that small, still voice, because had he not spoke to my spirit and let me know that that light was out, and then my spirit said, get up and go check it. My spirit said, go on and check the yard. Get up and do what you need to do to make sure that your surroundings are safe. So because I listened at that small, still voice, I realized that both of my lights was out in the yard. Both of my security lights was out. So then I was able to make a decision to pick up the phone to call the electric light company and have them come out and check these lights, so that tonight when it gets dark, I'll be able to come out here and make sure that my lights is on, that I'm not getting charged for something, that I'm paying for something that I'm not, service that I'm not getting. So with that being said, listen to that small, still voice. Allow God to lead you and guide you. Don't lean to your own understanding, and pay attention and let him speak to you spirit to spirit, and your spirit will surely tell you what it is to do after that. Be blessed. I love y'all. Y'all have a blessed rest of y'all evening. Bye-bye. And if you have not subscribed and you listen to this word this far, please join the family. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on them notifications. Leave me a comment. If you have anything positive to say at the end of this video, leave me a comment. Let's have some good conversation. I love y'all. I want y'all to prosper as your soul prospers. Be blessed.